The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday for you. Welcome to the Backup podcast. It's good old Nate here. Brian is not here today. He'll be here tomorrow. So excited to have him back on the show, and we'll be talking a lot more baseball and all that stuff once he arrives tomorrow. But hey, you got me today. Just good old me. We were here yesterday. We talked about some Oakland A's, and we talked about their first series this past weekend. We talked about some NFL stuff. Rashid Rice, there's an update that we'll talk about as well later on in the show. A kind of a major signing in the NFL yesterday, but it's like a random fun signing is what I would describe it as. So we'll talk about that as well. And then I watched some women's college basketball yesterday. That was interesting to watch. And we'll dive into a few things today for the next half hour. So yesterday we had like a record 300 to 400 viewers live. So I appreciate that. And hopefully we can, not saying we're going to replicate that today, but it was nice to see. It was very motivating is the right word I would describe it as. But regardless, thank you for all the support, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, all that stuff. I appreciate it. So, anywho, without further ado, let's get started, shall we? The Oakland Athletics had their first win on Sunday, and they played last night against the Boston Red Sox, welcoming them to the Coliseum. Yesterday was April Fool's, right? And unfortunately, there was a move that left a lot of people questioning what the hell the A's are doing. Because when you are a franchise like the Oakland A's, you are going to be criticized every chance you get because your owner is cheap and the team has been consistently bad for the past 2 to 3 years. About to be 4 this season at this point. So the first move, this happened like hours before the game. Center fielder or left fielder now, Esteury Ruiz, was demoted to AAA. That was out of nowhere. Because this guy was batting pretty good against the Guardians. I know he was benched for a game or two. But when he did play, he played pretty well. His batting average was over 400. Close to 500, if I'm not mistaken, which was best on the team. Yes, early sample size, but at the same time, he was the best hitter on the team. And last season, a lot of the concerns were like, oh, he can't, he's not a very good hitter. He has speed and everything, but what else does he have? He worked in the off season. He worked during spring training. He came out of this the year on a hot streak in a way, and he was good. He was fine. And then yesterday happened, and then he was cut. Well, not cut. So I'm thinking football. He was demoted to AAA. And David Forrest, the GM, was saying, he was like, oh, the reason why we demoted him was because we want him to get on base more and all that stuff. And we have confidence in him, blah, blah, blah. He got on base. This guy had, like I said, 429 batting average, 857 slugging percentage. He was second on the team in OPS. He had 6 total bases. 6. And what do you mean not get on base? He has 6 total bases. He has 3 hits, a double, a triple. He has an RBI, and he stole a base. What else? What more do you want from him? And you sent him to the minors for what? For Tyler Nevin? Who the heck is Tyler Nevin? See, what Tyler Nevin has done, he's 26 years old, by the way, Nevin is. He has, for the past 2 seasons, hit under the Mendoza line. The Mendoza line is 200, by the way. He doesn't hit. So it's kind of counterintuitive when you demote a guy who you say needs to work on his hitting and getting on base in exchange for a guy who can't hit anyways. And Ruiz is younger. Like you might as well. It's a lost season anyways. You're 1-4. It's a lost season. You might as well just play the young guys. Why would you play a random 26-year-old who, let's face it, he hasn't really done anything. He's been in the majors for 4 years. Nevin has, and so that's something we'll discuss later in a bit because it just factors into everything about the Oakland Athletics and how sorry of a franchise they are at the moment. And this is my first year covering the A's full time for Belly Up Sports, and the fact that I got to subject myself to this every day, it sucks. But I'm fine with it. It just sucks. Anyways, the A's welcomed the Red Sox to the Coliseum last night. And look, another day, another loss. You love to see it. Another day, another loss for the A's. No, seriously. Yeah, last night was bad because, wow, I tell you, they lost 9-0. Spoiler alert. They committed 5 errors. Now you're probably thinking, okay, I mean, yeah, the A's aren't a good team defensively. 5 errors is like not something that we should be surprised at. They committed 5 errors in the first 3 innings. 5 errors in 3 innings. What are we doing? Look, I get it. Like, it's bad that you lost. Okay, you lost on opening day 8-0. You lost to Boston 9-0. But you committed 5 errors in 3 innings. Do the math. That's 15 errors in 9 innings. Luckily, that didn't happen. I'm just saying, mathematically, it kind of makes sense. You would have had 15 errors in 9 innings if you kept up the pace. And it's not like the pitching was any better. Joe Boyle, I thought he was going to, do well. He was great last year. He came on for like the last 3 games of the season. He was like 2-0 in his 3 starts. Had like under 2 ERA. This man didn't even pitch 3 innings. He lasted 2 2/3. He had allowed 8 hits, 7 earned runs, and 4 walks. And he committed an error. It was a throwing error on a pickoff throw. So right now he's 0-1 with a 23.63 ERA, yet his career ERA jumped from like under 2 to like 4.23. I don't know. Also, what are we doing on defense? Seriously, Ryan Noda, Lawrence Butler, and I don't know, man. I'm a big advocate for Butler, but we'll get to him in a second. Joe Boyle, Langoliers had 2 errors of his own. Those 4 guys defensively were terrible last night. What was to make things worse? Their offense, the Oakland A's offense, didn't do anything. They had 4 hits. Think about that. They had 5 errors and 4 hits. It should be the other way around. You can't have more errors than hits in a baseball game, especially if you're a professional baseball team. This is not Little League. This isn't the minors. This is the real stuff. You couldn't get done. Jalen Duran, Trevor Story, Casas, those 3 guys led the way for Boston. They played well. I mean, the whole team played well, let's be honest. Pitching staff for the Red Sox, but Trevor Hook, however you say his name, spent 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. He had a great day yesterday. If you're a Red Sox fan, you were chilling yesterday. I tell you that much. And then I think I forgot who the reliever was. I think it was like Scott Alexander was his name. I forgot his name, but Chase Anderson. Oh, Chase Anderson. I'm thinking about Scott Alexander. Chase Anderson, he came in, pitched 3 innings, got the save, which makes no sense to me these days. I don't understand why that's considered a save. I get it. It's a rule. Like if a reliever comes in and pitches 3 innings or more, it's considered a save, no matter how much the deficit is. The deficit is 9 runs. How is a team going to come back? How is a team, how is that considered a save when your team is winning by 9 runs? Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess there's one bright spot for Oakland, and that's JJ Bleday. I mean, he had 2 hits yesterday. He's off to a 350 batting average. That's a great start. I won't be surprised if he's demoted next. Let's be honest. But everyone else, I can't do it. Seth Brown. This experiment is over. He's a veteran guy. He's old. Just let him go. Bench him or something. Brent Rooker. This man strikes out like it's no other. Last year was a fluke. Bench him, trade him. I don't care. Lawrence Butler. See, that's someone you send down, and that doesn't see the A's. So you send down Ruiz, yet you keep Lawrence Butler, who's batting like way under the Mendoza. He's like close to like 100 when it comes to batting average. And let me get this straight. You bench you demote Ruiz, yet you keep a shortstop or a third baseman, Daryl Hernandez, 22 years old. He went 0 for 3 last night. He has not got a hit yet in the majors. No hits. He has not shown that he can hit the ball at this level. He is 22 years old. I get play the young guys, but if you're trying to, try to get on base more, then what are we doing? No, I'm serious because the A's, if we're trying to win or at least show an effort, which they're obviously not going to. They're not. It doesn't seem like they are. You can't be demoting guys who are playing well. Ruiz was the best hitter on the team, and yet you send him down. And Mark Kotsay and Derek Forrest are saying, he's gonna play every day in AAA. Well, yeah, he could play every day here too. Do you see what you do to the confidence of this kid? It's like, what more does he have to do? It's like the Golden State Warriors, to be honest, when it comes to Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody and the relationships they have with Steve Kerr. Now, Kuminga's off to is playing have a great season for the Warriors this year. I'm talking about Moses Moody. There's games where Moody may play well, and all of a sudden, the next game he gets benched or doesn't even play a minute. It's like, how does that make sense? It's like, what, instead of Moses Moody, you're playing like, I don't know, Dario Saric or something. Like, what? Who has more upside at this point, Saric or Moody? It's Moses Moody, obviously. Because it makes sense to play Moody ahead of Saric. I'm just, as an example. I don't know the whole Warriors roster. I'm a Lakers fan. But I'm saying you can't keep doing this to your players and your fans. And I don't even care if you're gonna if you hate them. They hate you. I'm talking to you, John Fisher, because you just don't care. David Forrest, you don't care either. Mark Kotsay, the manager, yeah, I get his comments about Ruiz and everything, and how he was talking about how Ruiz would have made the majors if it weren't for Miguel Andujar's injury. This man has been dealt a bad hand regardless. He has to deal with this sorry roster anyways. It feels like it's like honestly, it feels like he's forced to say these things because he doesn't have a choice. It's either that or just lose his job. And based off his resume, who wants him as a manager? No one. But it's not even his fault. It's just the team that he manages sucks. You have guys like I said, Seth Brown, Brent Rooker can't even hit. Why not send them down? Yet we send, one of our best young guys to the minors to, quote, play every day and get better and get on base more when he's done that to start the season. .429 batting average, .857 slugging percentage, second in OPS. What are we doing? Get your shit together, Oakland, please. At least put on a show, man. You may be stuck in Oakland for the next 2-3 seasons. Are you not going to try? So we're just going to wait till Vegas gets solved and then we'll try? at least Kyle Muller did good yesterday. I said it from the beginning. He should have been a starter. Don't understand why he's in the bullpen. This man pitched 5 in the third yesterday. 1 run, 1 hit. I think he allowed a home run on that one. No, it was no home runs he allowed yesterday. But regardless, he struck out 6, walked 2. He's a starter. Joe Boyle, not a starter. I don't make the rules, man. I saw Muller play last year. I go back to this. Opening day. This man came out on fire. 1 run allowed, yet the team didn't get, he didn't get the win. But the team played pretty good. Well, he played pretty well. He was great. I'm telling you, he's starting material. Don't put him in the bullpen. I understand, it's pretty crowded. Like I said, Alex Wood, Ross Stripling, JP Sears, Joe Boyle. Who's the other guy? Oh, Blackburn? Yeah. See, if I could make the rotation for 1 through 5, I would have put Muller on game 1, and then Paul Blackburn, and then Alex Wood, and then Stripling, and then JP Sears. And put Joe Boyle in the bullpen. I don't care. This man, like I said, he pitched 2 2/3. He allowed 7 runs. His man is terrible. No one's heard of Joe Boyle for a reason. Just be competitive, man. Give us a show. This is why no fans go to the games. You had 6,000 people come yesterday. That's the highest it's been in 3 games. Opening day was like 13,000. After that, it was like 3,000, 4,000, and 5,000. You're thinking it's growing, the fan attendance? It's not growing. I'm sure out of the 6,000, 4,000 of the fans yesterday were Red Sox fans. And can you blame A's fans? No. Because with the moves they're doing with Ruiz and everything, I don't blame them. A's play tonight against the Red Sox again. A's will send Alex Wood for his second start of the season. And then the Red Sox will send Brian Bayo to the mound for his second start. Bayo is 1-0 with a 3.2 something ERA. Alex Wood is 0-1 with a double-digit ERA. That's all you need to know. Cool. All right. Before we shift towards the NFL, a couple NFL news and a intriguing prospect that should play in the NFL. And he's from the basketball world, wish I may add. But before we dive into that, I want to get to a message from our sponsors, SeatGeek, and Ryan from No Credentials Required will let us know why you should use SeatGeek for your next sporting event or concert or any event that you want to go to. Ryan, take it away.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
Thank you, Ryan. Once again, Belly Up Sports 20 for $20 off your next or your first purchase from SeatGeek. Like I said, sporting events, baseball games, playoffs are coming up for basketball, hockey games, concerts, comedy shows, all that stuff. SeatGeek is the best place to get your tickets for a good price. Check them out. Alrighty. Let's see. NFL. Yes, a couple headlines from the National Football League. Carson Wentz to the Chiefs, 1-year deal. He was the backup for the Rams last year. And this is going to be his 4th team after playing for the Eagles and the Commanders. Oh, well, they were the Redskins, but the Commanders in his career before hopping on the Rams. Yes, last year as a backup behind Matthew Stafford, and we'll do the same for Patrick Mahomes because there's no way in hell he's going to be taking over Mahomes as the QB1 in Kansas City. 100%. No way. In his career, 8 seasons for Carson Wentz, he's thrown for over 22,000 yards, 150 touchdowns. He has thrown 67 interceptions, but at the end of the day, when you have more touchdowns and interceptions, you're doing pretty well for yourself. He gets to reunite with Andy Reid, which is nice to see from their days in Philadelphia. And honestly, a good situation for Mr. Wentz because, there's not a lot of teams need a starting quarterback, especially a quarterback that's been in the league for a while now. Teams that need a quarterback are going towards the draft, as we all know. And this is a good situation for him. I mean, he's won a ring before with the Eagles. Obviously, carried them in the regular season before he suffering that injury that led to Nick Foles taking over into the playoffs. And you could say Nick Foles basically won the Super Bowl for them once upon a time. But when you're on the team, you get a ring, and when you can call yourself a champion, you can call yourself a champion regardless if you carried them or not. And Wentz, he did deserve it. He did play pretty well before the injury. So shout out to Wentz. He joins the Chiefs and gives him a chance to win a second ring as the backup. And knock on wood, Mahomes gets hurt. At least the Chiefs have a quarterback that knows Andy Reid's system, and hopefully he's not going to play to the level of Mahomes, but he'll play or make a solid contribution at least for Kansas City. Speaking about the Chiefs, Rashee Rice, a little update on that. And I don't know. I saw images on TMZ. I don't know if you've seen it yet yourself, folks. But if you look up TMZ, Rashee Rice, I ain't gonna lie. At first, I said yesterday that was not him. It looks like him. You can just tell by the shirt that he's wearing. I don't have the image in front of me, nor did I want to be copyrighted right now anyways. But it looks like him. So, yeah, he's going to get in trouble. Unless we're wrong. Unless what I said in the beginning that wasn't him, that's actually not him. But it looks like him. And that's not good. Because the Chiefs already have enough trouble at the receiving position with Kadarius Toney acting the way he's been. We're in trouble. Well, if you're the Chiefs, you're in trouble. Anyways, Brock Purdy. This man's making under $1 million, which is a crime to NFL quarterbacks, especially starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. His salary is like $900,000 something. He earned $739,000 more yesterday in performance-based pay. So shout out to him. He's gonna get paid soon, a good amount of money. I'm very excited to see Purdy get paid. He deserves it. He made the Super Bowl last year, carried them the year before going down with that elbow injury in the NFC Championship. God knows what may have happened if he was healthy in that game. Maybe the Niners would have made it in the Super Bowl that year too, and it would have been back-to-back Super Bowls between the Chiefs and the Niners. Who knows? Purdy's gonna get paid, and he played really well in 2023. Passing yards were top 10, touchdowns top 10, all that stuff. He was great. For a guy that's Mr. Relevant, he's pretty relevant. So shout out to Purdy. Great job, my man. Speaking about the Niners, though, the whole Brandon Ayuk situation. I was talking with a few of my friends who are Niners fans, and they love Ayuk. A lot of fans. I think everyone loves Brandon Ayuk. He's a wide receiver number one. I argued before in the past that Ayuk is he's the main guy in terms of wide receiver in San Francisco. Deebo Samuel, he's a cool guy, but he's like a gadget weapon. He's just someone that he can do it all, but he's not like crazy good. Yeah, he had that one big game against Philadelphia last year. But other than that, he's just a gadget guy. He's not that good. Ayuk is good. This man is a top tier wide receiver. One of my favorite plays was actually not the touchdown that he scored. No, not the almost touchdown he scored against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. My favorite play was actually, it was against, I think it was against Seattle or somebody. It was the first play of the game. It was a handoff to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey was gone. But he got to like the 5-yard line of the opponent's 5-yard line, but it wasn't all him. It was Brandon Ayuk just sprinting like down the field. I love Brandon Ayuk. He's my favorite receiver on the 49ers. And I think you could say the same for a lot of people who are big Niners fans. And if you ask someone, oh, what do you think of the Niners receiving core? And who's your favorite guy? They would probably say Brandon Ayuk because he's a great player. He does everything you ask him for. That's why you got to pay him. Rumors about trading him, he belongs with the 49ers. He just fits there. He does the dirty work, and when called upon, he is very dependable as a wide receiver. He's consistent, unlike Deebo Samuel. DJ Burns has taken over the college basketball world for NC State, North Carolina State to be exact. This man in the regular season for college basketball really didn't do much. And then once the tournament, began and everything, this man's on a tear. Burns is 6'9", 275. He's pretty much a center. He averaged 13, 4, and 2 this year, shooting 53% from the field. But honestly, it's his postseason. He's taken over in the postseason. He's been phenomenal. He dominated. He's just been dominating. I'm serious. He's been dominating this tournament like there's no tomorrow. Try to pull up the stats real quick. I love numbers. I love statistics, man. It's my bread and butter. Against Duke, played 29 minutes, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, but more importantly, 29 points. He's great. I'm telling you. He didn't do much against Marquette. Only scored 4 points, but when you make it to the Elite Eight, you got to show out. He showed out. By the way, against Marquette, they didn't really give him opportunities to score, but he had 7 assists. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Against Oakland in the second round, played 42 minutes, 24 points. Texas Tech in the first round had 16 points in 16 minutes, but he's been turning it up. The reason I bring him up, though, is because he has interests from NFL teams. So he's 6'9", 275. That's pretty good. This Senior Bowl director by the name of Jim Nagy, he posted something over the weekend about how he can imagine Burns playing offensive line, kick sliding and pass protection, being like a pulling guard or whatnot. And apparently there's been text messages that he's been receiving from multiple general managers, college scouts, saying that if Burns were to go to the NFL, there would be major interest. Now, of course, Burns would have to participate in some sort of pro day or a workout or whatnot, but apparently multiple scouts and general managers are saying that if Burns were to try out as a offensive tackle, that he could potentially for one, get a big turnout from a lot of general managers, but 2, get some money. Now, this is going to have to be after the Final Four, as his team is in the Final Four. Thanks to him. But, this guy, he's 6'9", 275. That's pretty good. I mean, who couldn't use an agile lineman like him in the NFL? Seriously, I mean, a lot of teams could use a guy like that. I know my Giants would. I know the Panthers would. I know that the Commanders, I'm just saying teams, but Point is, all 32 teams, no matter how good your offensive line is, could use a guy like DJ Burns. Now, is he gonna try out for the NFL? For sure. I mean, if he loves basketball, I think this should be his last season in the NBA, because he's played like 3 years somewhere else and 2 with this is his second year with NC State. So he's like a super senior or a redshirt senior, whatever you want to call it. But hey, the NFL's open for you. They're waiting for you, Mr. Burns. So if you ever want to give him a try, you do so. And you get money too. Well, you're going to get a good amount of money if you try out. Speaking about college basketball, I watched a little bit of USC and UConn yesterday. Women's basketball, that was exciting. Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers put on the show. Caitlin Clark got her revenge against LSU and Angel Reese. So seems like both men's and especially women's, it's safe to say the women's college basketball atmosphere has dominated compared to men's this season. A lot of star power over than the women's side. Like I said, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Flau'jae Johnson of LSU as well. Just a lot of, did I say Juju Watkins yet? Juju Watkins. It's a lot of star power on the women's side. Not to say there's no star power on the men's side. You have Zach Edey and Purdue, DJ Burns, like I just mentioned, with NC State and everything like that. But it's just cool to see the college basketball world, men's and women's, dominating the way they have. So heck of a year for March Madness and whatnot as we approach the end of that. So we'll see what happens in the Final Four for both sides, and it's going to be an exciting finish to the season for the NCAA. And then the NBA is winding down as well. About 7 or 8 games left in the NBA regular season. We'll see who makes the playoffs, and we'll obviously talk about that once the postseason is officially here. But yeah, we kind of went a little long today. I know the A segment kind of took over itself because of their terrible decisions. There has to be an underlying reason why they're making the moves they're making. Really don't know, but that's the A's for you. They continue to show us how depressing and sad of a franchise they are. Yet we still root for them because when we love a team, you love a team. You can't do anything about it. Brian will be back tomorrow for us. We'll talk some more baseball, get his opinion on this Mets. And we'll talk more baseball, see how the A's will do tonight. Like I said, they're sending Alex Wood to the mound for a second start of the season against Brian Bayo of the Red Sox. We'll talk about that. And then some more NFL talk tomorrow as well. Maybe we'll put a mock draft in there. We'll see what happens. But that will do it for another episode of the Backup to the Backup podcast. Thank you to y'all for watching and listening. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, or if you're listening to Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, the audio version and as a whole. I appreciate you as always. And thank you, SeatGeek. Thank you, Beta Sports. Working on a partnership with Underdog Fantasy. If that's the case, we'll have picks for you with each episode that we'll get out to you. We're still working on that. So if we do get the partnership, shout out to them. I love Underdog Fantasy. They're a good app. They're a great app to make your prop bets. So, and it's legal in California. So if you're a West Coast kid like me, that's the app for you. To be honest, better than Prize Picks. Just saying. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being the starter. There's nothing wrong with being the backup. Just don't ever be the backup to the backup. I'll see you tomorrow.